everyone and welcome to our channel Indian Farmer in South Africa. Today I'm standing in our cluster beans field and we are harvesting our cluster beans. So in this video you're going to see what is cluster bean, what are the climatic conditions if you want to plant cluster beans, how we have planted it, and then what are the nutritional benefits of this plant. And then the most important part that I'm going to touch on is why cluster bean is important if you are an organic farmer. So if you see the way we have planted our cluster beans, the distance between, we have planted them on furrows, on raised beds. Now there are two advantages why we plant it on the raised bed, especially if you are in a area where, like in South Africa, we have summer and then the rain at the same time. So when there is too much rain, the water doesn't clog and then the water has space to run away. And then the second important thing is for weed management. When you have it on the raised beds, it's easier to manage your weeds than just letting it grow on a flat soil. And the third most important is when you're doing with the drip. When you put it on a raised bed, it's easier to put a drip and water them by drip irrigation. Talking about the water requirement of this plant, as you see we are watering through drip irrigation. The plant has a taproot system, so it goes deeper and then it can recover water. So if you don't have lot of water and you want to plant cluster bean, it will grow really well because these plants, they are very well resistant to stress because of the low water requirement. So they grow very well in drought conditions as well. The scientific name of cluster beans is Siamopsis tetragonebola. It's also called as guar. It's grown, it's very well known in India and it grows very good in arid to semi-arid regions. So the ideal temperature for cluster beans is between 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, but it can tolerate high temperatures for 40 to 45 degrees Celsius. So that's why you will see most of the farmers in Rajasthan from India take this as an intercrop between the pearl millet and some take it between. I'm going to talk about the pests that can infest your cluster bean plants. One of them that you need to watch out is aphids. How can you detect aphids? You have to closely monitor your plants. Every day what we do is we walk around our field and we look at our plants. We check under the leaves because mostly the first aphid infection that you will see would be under your leaves, like black spots. That's when you know that your plants have been started being attacked by aphids. When you see that, the spray that you would take is a tank mix of Nudoson, Pyrrol, copper soap and neem oil. We do a tank mix and then we spray on the plants. Another thing that might affect, which we didn't have but it might affect, is the bacterial light. So for bacterial light also, if you use the same tank mix, it will help your plants. You see how beautiful these flowers are. It gets white purple flowers and then this is how the beans grow. As I told you, they grow in clusters, and the way you harvest is you just take the bin and push it a little down and easily it comes. You see, this is how you harvest the beans. It is a labor intensive work because you have to pick beans from each plant. If you see this one crate, it's just been picked from like 20 plants that were in front. So you are getting a yield of like 20 kg from just your 10 to 20 plants of cluster beans. They're nice long and then they are thin. As I told you, the variety that we have planted is Rohini variety, and it's nice green color and you don't you pick it. This is the right size to pick the beans. And I'm going to talk about the health benefits of the cluster beans because it's full of nutrition. So cluster beans are packed with proteins. They are low in calories, and if you see the health benefits of cluster bean, consuming cluster bean actually reduces your cholesterol and also regulates your blood sugar. So this is very good if you are battling to reduce weight, and if you want to consume something, then cluster bean is one of the options. All that you do is you just break it and fry it in a little bit of olive oil with a little bit of garlic and salt, and then you can use it as a salad, you can use it as a curry. It's an excellent plant, you know. And then if you talk about the stem of cluster beans, the stem of cluster beans is used to make gum. So gum is made from cluster beans, and that gum is used in the ice cream industry and in the baking industry. And then the leaves, if you see the cluster bean leaves, they are very good manure. So for example, like after our crop, we're going to remove this and then we're going to process it and put it as a manure for our other plants. So it's a very good green fodder if you have cattle. The leaves can be used as a green manure, green fodder. So this plant, in all, from its fruits to its stem to its leaf, it's full of benefits. And plus, it's a very cost-effective plant for the farmers and for organic farmers. As I mentioned, it's a bliss. Now we're going to see how we package our cluster beans. So these are the white boxes that we use with the flap. And the way you would pack it is make it like just in a straight line, and then you start filling the box basically. And when we are harvesting the beans, we make sure that we are not taking any beans that have gone bad or have discoloration. So there is no grading required after we have harvested. So we kind of do that step while we are picking our beans. So I'm going to show you how the filled box looks like. So the idea is just to make sure that your beans are straight, and then you start packing it in a box.